Good morning, everyone. Jerry Rich here. Today's Wednesday, December 30th. So a couple more days of 2020 and then we're on to 2021. For those of you just joining, I'm in Panama City right now, Panama. Tropics for the winter, at least till February. In February, we're gonna head back to Las Vegas. And it's been the spring in Las Vegas. Well, not the spring, but March in Las Vegas. And then in spring, we'll go to New York City. So that's the plan, and we're gonna photo document everything. You know, we're gonna be singing the Raider Nation song and everywhere we go. So be looking for that. I've got a lot of footage here. I haven't produced a lot of stuff on Creative Producer because the shutdown has made it so Jay Joy has to be in Vegas right now. So I have to do all the chore, everything around here myself. So, I basically have to feed myself, which is fine. But, when you run around, you do all the shopping, the cooking, the cleaning, all that stuff, it takes a little more energy to get into video editing. And so that just hasn't happened. But hey, don't worry, we'll get some of that stuff out for you guys. I know you guys are really eager to see. We've got some crazy adventures. I almost broke my leg one time, just like a couple of weeks ago, and I'm still recovering from that. So I only bring that up because that was the one where, man, that was kind of like where, like, it shouldn't have happened. And it's just like, man, it's like makes you think like shit. There's not a lot of consumer protection, not a lot of public protection around here. You have to just watch where you're going. So I'm just gonna sit up here and watch the sunrise today, and I'm working on some videos. Continue to work on the diet thing. Always struggling with that. And then we're gonna go. Well, today's Wednesday. I can't go anywhere. Is the thing. Today's a curfew day where I'm not allowed to go anywhere. And quite honestly, I think everyone's getting a little tired of this. I know the COVID virus sucks, it's all lame, but being American, most Americans haven't been. We're not really afraid to die, most of us that have been here for a while, like my ancestors came here, or came to this America, like whatever, 6 generations or whatever, however many generations you go back to, and so they're in California during all the 1800s. I know that, how far back that goes. So there were settlers, and a settler is someone who, or pioneer is someone, but settlers for sure, like they put quality of life, like they traveled to get to California and risked their life to get there. They're like, hey, if you go, you're going to die. A lot of people didn't head out west for a long time. A lot of people didn't start migrating that way until after we all got it settled, and it was safe. And then they came out, and then they all look around and say, oh, well, hey, you can't have that. You can't have, that's not safe, and that's not safe. And if you want more people to come, you got to make this safe and that safe and this and that and this and that. And everyone, and so some of the people have been like, what are you talking about? We've been doing this for 50 years or 100 years or whatever, never had no problem. But you see, the mentality is different. You see, the mentality of the settlers and my grandparents, my ancestors, is that they weren't afraid to die. They just weren't afraid of things like that. I'm not afraid to die. I have been in the past, and then there's a point, I don't know, maybe something happens. I'm not going to go on that here, but people do have experience. Like my wife's not afraid to die either. That's why we get along. So I imagine people watching this channel, you guys are probably curious, like what's going on here. And so what we try to do is we try to show you how life can be, like really pushing at the edge, pushing it out there. And one of the things that we're doing is diet, nutrition. Because at this age, when you're an adult, you need to know how to feed yourself. And what I see on Twitter and online are adult people tweeting fast food and candy Like these are like 40, 50-year-old people, and they're not healthy, and everyone's kind of responding to it. But I think they need to be called out because that's not healthy, and it's not healthy for them either. And what we try to do here is we want to make sure we have the support mechanisms for you guys to, if you're saying, man, I want to get off this sugar thing, I want to eat right, I want to be healthy like the Jedi. Well, then there's a few things you have to make some changes in your life, and it's hard during the change process, right? For those of you who know chemistry, the delta, right? That requires energy. But once you get over that delta, right, then it's all copacetic again. It goes back to equilibrium. So what you have to do is you have to move yourself from to lose weight. I'm just gonna sum it up real quick, and then we'll go. But if you want to lose weight, you have to migrate your body from and recondition your brain, because your brain is what releases all the hormones. See, that's the deal. Recondition your brain. The way you do that is by, the whole habit thing, the force of habit things. You don't succumb to your cravings, okay? Because then that reinforces the bad behavior. So when you get a craving, don't succumb to it. You do something else, and then eventually your brain gets, unlearns what it was doing before. It says, when I feel this way, maybe I won't go out and get myself an ice cream sundae. And I'll tell you how you do this. It's conditioning of the brain. And once you do that, then your body starts reacting better. And once you get your body and your brain and you all in sync with how things work, it makes it much easier to lose weight. It's no longer this thing of confusion and why am I, anyway, you'll feel yourself when your body shifts. The metabolism shifts when you say, oh shit, I must have eaten some sugar. Because you can feel it shift back to the sugar and you're like, oh, I don't want to go that direction because it's a pain in the ass coming the other way. The other thing that will cause that sugary feeling is if you eat too much fat. So if you're doing a keto diet or an all-protein diet, you really have to make sure that the proteins you eat have the right percentage of fats. Because if the fat percentage is too high, like in a filet mignon or a tenderloin, the percentage of fat is so high in that, you may as well be eating sugar with it. Because the excess fat gets converted to sugar once it's in your body as to glucose. Because you go, oh, I got some excess fat here. It's not. So the way you combat that is you eat more protein. It's like you're making a cake. It's chemistry. So if you have too much fat, you add more protein. So it balances out. So your body's like, oh, I have this extra fat, I'm going to convert it to glucose. So, okay, so that's that. So the goal is to maintain your glucose levels, maintain fat levels and all that stuff. It's actually, once you kind of get there, it's not complicated, okay? It's not complicated. Now how we do it is, well, you have to just eat beef for a while. Eat beef, and you eat chicken too. But you have to take the skin off the chicken. And careful of the chicken, because chicken, can be called oily. Fish, for the most part, unless you're just eating just the fish part and not any, fish is pretty oily. So, and these things are good. We can eat them later. Like, because if you just eat protein every day, like the lean protein, you get too lean. You get so lean, you're like, oh man, I need to, put on a coat of skin. So you have yourself some fish oil or a chicken or something, and that extra fat, then it's not like an extra fat like I don't know, it's different. You don't want to go out to get fat. You don't want to eat a bunch of candy. It's not the same thing, is what I'm saying. So, and this is true, and the same is true with sugars. All sugars are not the same. Chemically, they're identical, but the way the body responds to fructose compared to sucrose is very, very different. There's something about the different sources of sugar that our body changes. So in other words, you get glucose from your fat cells here is different than the glucose if you ate an apple. So what we're talking about here is, what you have to get your body off the mechanism where it says, hey man, In order for me to get out of bed, I need some energy. Go eat something. That has to end, because that's for your body. Basically, it's kind of like you're a car running on gasoline. Like, and when you run out of the gasoline, you have to fall asleep unless you put more sugar in. The problem is you eat the sugar, and, there's always going to be excess burnt, whatever. It's just not the way to do it. I go into it, not right now, but and so what you do is you have to retrain your brain to say, no, we're going to start processing proteins again, the way my ancestors did. And that takes a minute to change, and when it does, then you do have the hunger spells, but it's not like the way you're used to. It's just a different mechanism. So anyways, hey, check it out. Try it. Just quit eating sugar, all sugar. And sugar includes pasta, breads, and that stuff too. Carbohydrates, fancy word for sugar. So quit all sugar and carbohydrates, same word. Quit all sugars and just do that for 2 weeks. And then see how you feel after 2 weeks. You'll probably feel like crap, but I think it'll be like kind of when you feel like crap, the way you feel like crap when if you get it hurts so good, you get a massage, it hurts good, it hurts, but you kind of want. So like you'll feel like crap, you're like, wait a minute, but something's happening good. I can feeling better. So I'm healing. So give it a shot, give it a try. Comment below if you have any questions. Thanks for watching. Oh yeah, be sure to have a great day.